There they are, our 4 stars.
Pretty diverse team lineup
Pretty
here.
sick group.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's kind of obvious to everyone that MVP is a big favorite to come out. Everyone feels that, you know, he's just kind of a little bit better than everyone else in the world right now. I think that the second person to come out is going to be the winner between July and MC, I have to tell you.
Yeah, I mean, Hyperdub is definitely the underdog. You never know. He's good enough. He could take a game off somebody.
Oh, certainly. It's best of 1 format, so it is upsets are absolutely possible.
One thing I like about MC is infinite confidence. I mean, the guy is, you talk about great for TV, but honestly, a great attitude to kind of copy.
Yeah.
If you're going to be a pro gamer, some of these guys so modest, MC says, no, I actually know I'm the best.
Well, you know what's funny is there's actually someone with even more confidence than him, and it's Jelizer.
Oh, I know, but you see...
So we actually have the 2 most confident people in the world going up against each other.
All
Whoever loses is not
all
going
we
to be
need
able
is
to
to put Artosis in the oGsHyperdub box, the upper right, and we would actually just have completed the confidence pool of pro gamers here.
Yes, we would.
MVP is confident, but not quite in the same way. I would say both July and MC somewhat borders on cocky.
Yeah.
And I like that.
That's the best type of confidence to have, Tasus.
Yeah, it is.
It is. It's much more entertaining.
So is Artosis in the upper right box here. Now, Hyperdub, again, don't count this guy out just because he's overshadowed by these 3 players. Doesn't mean he doesn't have the ability to do this. And also note, you're definitely not going to want to be a Terran player in today's group, even if you're MVP. You had 3 matchups to practice.
Yeah, that's very true. And MVP, he's got, like, what is it, Tasus? 97% wins in Terran versus Terran?
Something insane like that, yeah.
Yeah, his Terran versus Zerg, he's lost 2 televised matches since, like, Season 2 or something.
And one was to Nesty.
Yeah,
and
one
what
game
was
to
the other
Nesty and 1 game to Hydra.
That's right.
And that's it. And those are the 2 best Zergs in the world.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the guy is basically this unstoppable monster. Now, let's take a look. It's going to be on Tal'Darim Altar, a good map. This is either 5,000 points for GSL so far this season.
Yeah, for a ranking system here.
Over
what
10
they've
times
acquired.
as much as Hyperdub.
Yep.
In fact, over 11 times as much.
Very good.
Under 12 times as much, though.
So, we've got IMMvp and oGsHyperdub starting out our game today. Note the maps. They eliminated both 2 of the new maps, Terminus and Crevasse.
Almost 100% win rate, so yeah, I was saying about 97 or something. Will Hyperdub break that record? I don't know. We'll see, man. Stop asking me. We haven't seen the game yet.
Guys got to settle down. It's going to start soon. No, seriously, you really don't see that with pro gaming statistics.
Yeah.
Almost 100% win rate. That's not normal in basically any sport.
Yeah, it's
to have something to be lopsided. And I think it'd take a really, really, really good Terran player, probably better than Hyperdub, to knock this guy out.
It's going to take something special, Tasus.
When you see somebody who's that good in a mirror matchup, that's a real indicator of how well they know the race.
Yeah. You know, if I was Hyperdub, I think I'd be building my barracks in his base this game. I think that would be my goal.
Yeah, it's wouldn't be shock me. I mean, you first of all, to lose to MVP, I mean, it's okay, but it puts you in such a bad position.
Well, you have to play either July or MC.
I feel bad for Hyperdub,
yeah,
honestly. But look, I mean, give the guy some props. He stayed in Code S. He's been consistent. He's a good, solid player.
He's a solid player. There's no question there.
And you know, OGS is very proud of him. OGS staying pretty solid.
I'm very proud of him, Tasus.
I'm proud of him. I want to give him an attaboy. So pretty soon here, we're going to get this game going. Of course, as we quite often say, Artosis and me are both laced with the Korean stream, but we don't wear the daddy pants with that, so we don't know when exactly the games are going to start.
No.
It's usually up to them.
Almost like roulette.
It is.
We bet. Sometimes we get it right, but normally we lose.
And then, you know, luckily we're good at recovering if we get that timing off. But judging from our in-game screen, the countdown's begun, so get ready for some pretty sick TBT action here. The first game of Codas, cast by Tasus and Artosis. The casting Archon here at the GSL, the biggest, bestest, most awesome tournament in the world. Get ready. In the red, at the upper left, the Game Genie Terran, champion of GSL Season 4, Codas. getting in the zone here, you could see, rubbing his eyes. There's a little bit of downtime here before he has to pick up the APM. In the blue over here, this name always reminds me of dubstep, and I love dubstep.
I do too.
He is called none other than... Well, whenever they're ready.
You gotta do it quicker if it's Hyperdub.
That's true, actually.
Yeah.
Get some filthy beats out of there. Hyperdub.
There he is.
He's a really ambitious guy. He's really hardworking. And I think he had a good attitude going into this group. He wasn't one of these delusional players who's like, LOL, I will train so hard, I will win against everybody. Yeah. And I'm like, well, that's just actually crazy. No, I think he's got a good attitude. He said, I really want to beat MVP. If there's somebody I could beat, it would be MVP. Well, by the way, we threw up a little graphic there of our sponsors, Intel and G-Skill. Thank you so much for supporting us in esports. We love you guys.
Yes, we do. Now, another thing, I feel sad almost. I feel bad for Hyperdub that we keep saying we feel bad for him, but we have to point out one other thing. This is the map that MVP played against Bomber on. And against Bomber, MVP went down by 70 supply during the GSL Team League and still won the game. So MVP has shown that against the other Terran that a lot of people say might be the best in the world, he's pretty unbeatable. So, I mean, coming back from a 70 supply deficit, Tasteless, I don't need to tell you how hard that is.
I think this... Oh, we got a little pause here. It looks like MVP paused the game. Might be a problem with his sound or... monitor or something. Sit tight, guys. We're going to get this sorted out in just a minute here. We do apologize for the delay. This has happened more than once.
Yeah.
In esports history. And it's, part of what happens when you're using a computer. Computers aren't perfect.
What is the vehicle of esports?
Well, Dan, I'm glad you asked because I've never given this speech before
in
my life.
You haven't.
And I'm good at improvising it every time. Of course, the vehicle of esports is technology. Technology, not always perfect. But again, think about it. If you're running in the field and your shoelace gets untied or something, well, we got to fix the shoe.
If you're playing a baseball game and it rains too hard for too long, they postpone the game. That's the same as a pause.
It's the same as a pause.
But guess what? Instead of getting wet and having to come back later,
you get to watch us talk more.
That's right. It's maybe even better than the early game TVT.
I would take listening to you and me talk over being rained on any day. And that's just the way I feel. You can't take that away from me.
Even if I was starving in the desert, I would rather listen to you talk than have life-saving rain fall on my head.
Wow.
Yes.
Well, that's commitment.
Well, your voice, Tasteless, the way that you word things, the things that you say, the way you say them to me, the look in your eye, that's it.
Oh, and we were informed it was a monitor problem. Monitor Artosis. Pretty important when you're playing a game.
Yeah, it normally you want to use your monitor to see what your opponent's doing.
I look at my stuff with it.
Yeah.
So you got to have that monitor.
Now, if you're really good at hotkeys,
can't do it.
And you're good at sound and hotkeys, maybe you can play with that monitor.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But
actually, I'm going to go ahead and tell a little fact to everyone. Way back,
it's a good story. Please.
10 years ago or so, Slayer's Boxer actually played a blind StarCraft 1 player in an exhibition match where, for the first 5 minutes, I believe it was, Slayer's Boxer had to wear something over his eyes.
It was 5 minutes, I believe.
Where he couldn't see.
Five or two, I thought.
It was something like that.
Yeah.
I thought it was 5. But anyways, the kid 6-pulled Slayer's Boxer. So Slayer's Boxer lifted off his command center, floated it to the island, and then came back and won.
Well, he was allowed to take his blindfold off after 5 minutes.
So... But that's the funny thing, because the kid 6-pulled him, so the kid would have won if Slayer's Boxer was
if he was
Zerg
like Protoss
or
something.
Protoss.
Yeah.
But instead he's like, he lifts off, he goes to the island, and then comes back.
This is going to be bad for my career. Lift.
It's a true story. That actually happened.
So there was somebody who could play at least the first few minutes of the game blind.
That kid, I heard he was actually pretty good. You just had to tell him what position he was in. He only played Lost Temple.
And actually, if I remember correctly, I believe he was actually... I'm actually a producer's closest. He was at the GSL. He was at the GSL Season 3 finals.
Oh, you're such a bad faker.
I was trying to make it look like I was like,
wasn't
what?
I see him at the finals of GSL
funny,
Season
now
3?
that you mention it, that old memory's kicking in. Thank you to our producer for letting us know that.
Yeah.
He was at the GSL Season 3 finals.
That's interesting. I
still
didn't know
doing esports.
That's cool, man.
How about that?
Absolutely.
So we're getting the monitor fixed. We might have to get it replaced. We got so much technology stuff in the backstage. We got so much I sound like an old guy right now saying
like a broadcasting
all that
studio
doodah,
for computer
doodah
games.
stuff. You know?
Yeah.
We got a
I
lot
would
of
hope
keyboards
so.
and extra equipment backstage, so just sit tight. This actually reminds me of when I did the StarCraft 1 finals for Gom TV with Flash against Stork, and Flash was playing, and I guess he moved his feet a little bit farther under the desk and kicked out his monitor cord.
Wow.
Imagine that, and then having to pause F10P and thinking, and spamming like, I need to get a rep in here. Now the game went on, and I'm not sure who won the game that where the pause occurred, but Flash did manage to pull through with a victory there. But yeah, so this stuff happens. Sit tight. There is a little bit of downtime though, Artosis, so they could. What could they do?
Well, they can sit here and listen to us ramble.
You might want to clip your toenails.
You better do that over a wastebasket.
Yeah, don't do it on the carpet.
Your mom is going to be angry with that.
Your girlfriend's going to be mad at you if you do that. But a little something you could do to kill some time. Maybe microwave, another.
We're just going to start.
We're in. We're on.
Yeah.
So we'll get the game screen up for you guys.
Put those clippers down.
Put those clippers
Starcraft
away.
time.
All right, it's time. Focus. Get your pen and notepad out. And here we go. All right, we're back. Thank you for your patience. So today, the studio packed. Lots of non-Koreans down here today for the start of Codex. A real treat.
Yeah.
To meet any of you that want to come down here. We love esports. We love StarCraft.
Yeah.
We love sharing our passions with you.
That is my life, Tastes.
That's how I roll.
Sharing my passion for StarCraft, whether it be one or two.
Yep.
Nowadays, just two, with the world. Now,
right.
MVP has actually gone for an uber fast expansion. The IMMvp just buying that, going to that main base, going to see what he can see. He's going to see that he's, in fact, not playing Marine King Prime, so MVP has gotten 2 gases. It's like, you're not Marine King.
Well, Hyperdub has pretty orthodox play. I'd say he is unfortunately
He's maybe a little bit
trickable.
Banshee-heavy stylistically, but overall, pretty solid.
I would say if there's a player who's going to be tricked in the series, it's Hyperdub. The thing is, he plays correctly. He reacts to what he sees, so if you give him false information...
Yeah.
I mean...
He almost reacts too much to what he sees. So if he doesn't see something, he doesn't even think about it.
Yeah.
Now, he is getting Blue Flame Hellions. So it looks like he's going to commit somewhat heavily to doing some damage now. Yeah, in fact, getting a starport as well, so he's going to drop some Blue Flame Hellions.
It's funny to see how much...
Or perhaps some Marines and then run in with the Hellions. But one way or the other, he has to get a lot of damage done to MVP early on.
It's funny to see how much more Blue Flame Hellions have played a role in StarCraft 2 out here in the GSL.
Yeah.
We started out being like, what? Are you really sure you want to get Blue Flame Hellions against Terran or against Protoss early? But actually, there's a lot of cool stuff you can do.
It actually quite mirrors the beginning of StarCraft 1. When StarCraft 1 was still a new game, everyone thought Vultures were terrible until we found out they were like the second best unit in the game next to the Mutalisks.
Oh, yeah, I know.
They're actually like
I remember
the best thing ever, man.
No, I mean, they're basically free and they have a build time of 0 Artosis.
Kind of like Marines in StarCraft 2.
No, I mean, it's one of these things where, we had that same experience in StarCraft.
It takes
StarCraft
a while.
1 where people are like, well, wait a minute, these things actually deal so much damage, and I feel like that's now the Hellion.
Yeah, it takes a while to learn how to micro them, how to use them against a certain amount of units, what numbers to get and everything, and I think they're just going to become more and more popular. It's a great unit. And they deal splash damage, Tasteless. Can you even imagine that?
Are you telling me they deal splash damage?
They do splash damage.
I'm actually not good at speaking today. I'm like, splash damage?
It's okay.
Now we got Marauders coming out here. Nothing too crazy going on just yet. Obviously very different tech patterns.